Hello YouTubers, today we're going to make a Disney frozen cake. We made one a while back, but the video kind of sucked because of technical difficulties. So I wanted to do another one that was a little bit easier for you to make. Also something flexible. You can make this for any kind of woodland themed cake. So let's go ahead and get started. For our cakes, I've made two 10-inch cakes and an 8-inch cake. And we're going to cut the 8-inch cake in half. Now we're ready to stack our two half layers of 8-inch cake. I have an 8-inch cake board here that I cut in half. I put a little buttercream on it, and we're going to go ahead and stack our two layers of 8-inch cake here. Now I'm going to pop this into the refrigerator while we start to stack our 10-inch cakes. I've attached my first 10-inch cake to a 14 by 14 inch cake board. I want it bigger than my cake because I'm going to bring some of our trees down onto the cake board, and I'm just going to go ahead and stack our two 10-inch layers. Now we're ready to stack our cakes. I've got my 10-inch layer here, and I've put toothpicks where the edges of my half cake are going to go. I want it to set in the back of my 10-inch layer. And now what we're going to do is we need to add some support for that, and we're going to use milkshake straws. And all we're going to do is push them down through our cake. And then we'll use scissors just to cut them off at cake level. I'll put a few of those around. That will add some support for our top layer. Now that I have my milkshake straws in, I'm going to put some buttercream frosting in the back of my cake here, and I'll put on my second layer. And then I'll pop that into the refrigerator so that my buttercream sets up to attach our two layers together. To make the mountains for our cake, we're going to need 4 sugar cones. 2 we're just going to set aside. And for one of our sugar cones, I'm going to take a serrated knife and I'm going to cut off the tip of the sugar cone. Next, I'm going to take some buttercream and put a good bit around the top of the sugar cone that we just cut, and I'm going to use it as glue to glue the other sugar cone on top. This is going to give us a taller mountain on our cake. Now I'm going to put this into the freezer and let it harden completely so that they don't come apart. I gave the cake a crumb coat, and now we're ready to put on our mountains here. I put a layer of buttercream. You're looking at the very top of the cake. And we're going to start with our tallest mountain. I just put a little bit of buttercream on it to start. We'll put more on after we get it into our cake. And I'm going to set it up here and push it into the cake a little bit, just so it stands up. And then we'll put on our other 2 mountains. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this back in the refrigerator to let the buttercream set up so that our mountains will stay attached to the cake. Then we can add a little more buttercream to make them look a little more like mountains. Now we're ready to make our lake and waterfall. And it may not show very well on camera, but I kind of laid it out here. Up here is a little stream. It runs behind this mountain, and it gets wider as it approaches the edge of the cliff. And then here I just kind of made up and down strokes to lay out the waterfall. And you want to leave your buttercream rough so that you get lighter and darker shades of the blue that we're going to use. Down here I laid out a little pool that the waterfall's falling into. Now I'm going to use some blue and white piping gel to make our water. We did a whole video on how to do a water effect, and we just use the piping gel and spread it on. Now for the waterfall, we want to go in and up and down
motion.
And that's how we're going to create our waterfall. I'll finish that up and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. And here's our completed waterfall and little lake at the bottom. I also had some sugar crystals that I threw around just to give it a little bit of shimmer and look a little more frozen-like. Now let's finish up decorating our cake. Now we're ready to put some trees on our cake. I made these evergreen trees yesterday and kept them in the refrigerator. We did a whole video on how to make these trees. They're quick and easy and you can make a bunch of them. I'll put a link to that in the description. Also a link to our homemade piping gel recipe so that you can make the piping gel for your waterfall. I'm going to go ahead and put some trees on my cake and then we'll take a look and see how it looks so far. Here is our cake so far. We've got our waterfall. I added the trees. I put icing onto my cake board and I put some trees down here as well. Now if you just wanted to do a woodland cake, you could leave it like this for the most part and add maybe some deer, or if you're into skiing you could put a skier up here. Just all kinds of different things that you could do with this cake. I'm going to go ahead and turn it into a frozen cake. So let's finish it up. We're almost done. So a couple of days ago, I made our peppermint ice. I made it in this kind of a greeny blue color. And we did a video on how to make this. It's terribly simple. So I will put a link to that in the description as well. And right up here, we're going to build Elsa's ice castle. We're just going to put our peppermint ice candy into our buttercream and build it out. I'll go ahead and get that done. And then we'll be ready to put our frozen characters on our cake. And here is our finished cake. I just love it. I think it's kind of elegant, but really cute for the kids as well. It's a very flexible design with the evergreen trees. You could easily turn this into a spring or summer cake just by changing up the colors. I really like it. I hope you like it as much as I do. Thank you for watching today's video on how to make this frozen cake. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll give it a try. Please join our channel. You can click the link up above. Thanks for watching. We hope to see you back soon.